Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this LinkedIn Live edition of Mind Your Own Business. I am tremendously privileged to have Tom here from Traction Squared, a world-renowned EOS implementer firm, and someone who I've learned to just enjoy hanging out with. So, Tom, welcome.
Thanks, Steve. Great to be here.
So, we always start by getting your worldview. So what's going on out there? What are you hearing?
Wow. Try not to watch too much news because there's a lot of chaos, right? A lot of anxiety building in the community and kind of on the heels of COVID. So you take that and, well, when you think of what business is, it's really successful business runners are generally aligning human energy. And you think of all that chaos and anxiety in the market, in the individuals, in your teams, in your organization, and it's created a lot of uncertainty. So it seems in general, on the heels of COVID, which was the first wave of uncertainty, and now what's happening in Russia and Ukraine, it's just in gas prices and inventory and supply chain, it's just created a lot of uncertainty. And I find that the really successful leaders are finding ways to take advantage of that uncertainty because, they just need to outrun the competition. And so those that are actually leaning into the headwinds are actually making movement. Those that aren't, they're hunkering down, batting down the hatches, rolling up their sleeves, getting into details of the business, seem to be falling behind.
So the ones you talk to who are still a bit lost, let's talk about them. What are they saying? What are they feeling? What are you hearing from them?
Well, primarily they're just feeling out of control, Steve. They're feeling like they're working really hard. Maybe never worked harder in their life to move their business forward. And it just feels like with all this uncertainty, anxiety, great resignation they're just out of control. They can see the opportunities in front of them, but they either can't staff them, they can't engage their employees or get the most out of their employees to capitalize on these opportunities. And therefore, they're suffering from a profitability perspective. They're suffering with frustrations about how to harmonize and align people, human energy. And they feel like they're just hitting the ceiling at a time when they really wanted to recover and take off post-COVID. Just frustrated, really frustrated with nothing working. And just the ones that are open-minded and looking for solutions, there are solutions out there. There are businesses that are making headway. And so, like your goal and mine is just to match them up with solutions that can help them move forward in this time of uncertainty.
Yeah, it really seems like having what I would call an anti-fragile mindset, and I've done another podcast on that, but the ability that obstacles make me stronger. If you think about the metaphor of a candle, a strong wind blows out a candle, but it fuels a bonfire. And if you have the mindset to where you can embrace that kind of chaos, if you will, or uncertainty, you can succeed. If not, you need some help getting there. And I sense that's something that you offer is a way for me, particularly as a visionary entrepreneur, to begin to cope.
Absolutely, Steve. I think, as you said, how fast do you need to run in this time of uncertainty? Just faster than your competition. Mm-hmm. So as you can imagine, like having a clear vision where people are searching for purpose in their careers now with the great resignation, right? People feeling lost with all this uncertainty and drama happening in the marketplace. The more a leader can create clarity around their vision, their passion, their purpose, and engage their staff, the more they're aligning people, engaging people, and aligning people with the vision and mission that they have. And if they can lean into that, just lean into that a little more than the competition, they're going to make huge strides and great headway. And the ones that have certainly are.
So, you use the word people and alignment a lot. And when I think about many of the successful businesses I know who've prospered over the past decade, which some will say it was hard not to make money. You know, they have adopted sort of a task or tactical orientation and not a people one. And have you run across individuals who just want, hey man, let's just do this and we'll be fine? And so if that's true, how do they get from one place to the other? So I'm a task person.
Yeah.
We've been driving our company to goal. And if you turn now, I now have to be get my people to buy in.
Mm. Well, Steve, I would just say it's an opportunity. There are some stats that show, for example, the Gallup annual poll, 87% of employees worldwide are not engaged. So that's any one of the given businesses in the audience. Statistically, if you surveyed their people, you'd find that roughly 87% aren't engaged. And why are they not engaged?
Wow.
Because they really don't know what the company's vision is. Like it's 39% have no idea what the company's vision are, and 44% have no idea how their job relates to helping achieve the company's vision. Now, some leaders in the same Gallup poll basically asked the question, how do I demand more engagement and accountability? And the truth is you can't demand it. You have to lead and manage it into reality. Great leadership, great management create individual accountability in everyone on your team. So it's really up to the leaders to actually demonstrate these practices and bring everyone else along, engage them. I think, as you said, it was kind of hard to go wrong. We were all on a run for a while. It was hard to go wrong, you know. Everything was just happening like magic. Economy was booming, businesses were booming. It was kind of hard to fail. Now things are tightening up. So does the leadership's vision, focus, discipline, accountability all need to get tightened up, and especially engaging people. With the Great Resignation, people are really looking for purpose.
Yeah.
Really looking for purpose. And there's a lot of job changes right now. And if you have that clarity in your vision and your purpose, your opportunity to attract top talent really exceeds your competition. And that's all you got to do is you got to beat the competition.
So you talked about the Great Resignation, and many people have left their roles. And we could swap stories about forcing people back to the office when their job works just fine, remote, and people leaving. But it seems like more than ever before that I want if I'm going to work, I want to do something that fulfills my heart as well as my pocketbook and fits what I want to get out of life. You know, there used to be that old, are you here to, or do you work to live or live to work?
Yeah.
And, you know, my generation, a lot more live to work. And we have profound regrets from that. Seems like the workforce today is a lot smarter than we were and are demanding balance. But that's not something that's easy for businesses to appreciate after getting our way for a couple hundred years in this country. So how does an owner reconcile the fact that I now really have to work with and through my team versus have them work for me?
Yeah. I think there was a study that showed that back to what motivates people.
Yeah.
It's compensation to an extent that the human needs are met. Beyond compensation and your basic human needs and your family's human needs being met, it's purpose, autonomy, and mastery that really motivate individuals. And I think it's been that way for some time. It's just we haven't really had to focus on that as leaders of our businesses because everything was on a roll. Now as things tightened up, I think it's just becoming more important, Steve, as people search for purpose. They're looking for businesses that are operating with a purpose and they have clarity of their purpose. So really important in the recruiting stage, all the way from recruiting to onboarding to performance managing, that vision, the purpose is clear. And people know what their expectations are. Lots of leaders point due north. and then expect people to know what to do. What really is most beneficial is providing the vision and the purpose, and then showing people, leading and managing people to show them what the expectations are, and then holding them accountable. Inspect what you expect, but being there to support them, help them along. I know it takes a little bit more effort and energy, but ultimately it's the way we would each want to be treated in an organization.
Yeah, being part of something bigger and meaningful is powerful.
It is. And as you know, Steve, like the engine of a company is people and the human energy, and getting that human energy aligned around a common vision and a common plan, with each one of those vectors of human energy rowing in the same direction, knowing their part, great things start to happen.
Yeah, I mean, anymore, I mean, I sort of grew up in business in Silicon Valley, where they say, what are your assets? You say, your people. They say, no, what are your assets? I said, beside that, we have some computers and some wires connecting them, and so the people are everything.
And I think a lot of leaders underutilize and underestimate the value of their leadership teams. And in part because their leadership teams aren't always informed. So when their leadership teams are informed, included, their opinions sought and listened to and integrated, the power of a great leadership team will surpass the power of an individual any day, hands down. And so part of the process of inclusion, right? Inclusion of the leadership team starts at the leadership team, that permeates down through the rest of the organization, each department in turn.
So it sounds like if I hire well, I've got talent. I really need to listen, appreciate, set expectations, and support them. Is
Absolutely. That's a lot on the management side. There's also the leadership side, which is setting that clarity of what's true north, what's the vision, where's the organization headed, and why. What's the passion, purpose, and cause of the organization that really gets people excited about working towards that vision and the purpose? It really engages their hearts and minds. And then, as you say, surrounding yourself with those people, including them in the planning and the conversations. It's always been proven that you get more out of people when they feel included and shared ownership of the plan. They'll operate with more accountability ultimately, and you're going to get better results.
Yeah, and the better results, I can think of countless stories of where we didn't take into account the people who were most affected by the decision. We overspent, we created a system that didn't work, and then they came in and solved it because we created an additional problem for them. So, so I've been listening now as one of my business owner listeners for 12 minutes. And I go, yes, this is something I need help with. What if I reach out to you, which is scary? I just want to admit that's scary. What happens?
Well, if you reach out, it's a casual conversation. It's getting acquainted, like with me, myself, if that's what you're referring to. It's getting acquainted as individuals, people, just understanding a little bit about each other, digging into the business, looking at, for you as an example of the leader of your business, where have you been, where are you, and where do you want to go? And with that trajectory that you want to be on, what's holding you back? What are your frustrations, your primary frustrations or aspirations? And then for me to actually share how EOS, the entrepreneurial business system, my coaching, tools and disciplines could be an invaluable asset to you in helping you capitalize on the opportunities or overcome the hurdles that you're facing. No obligation, casual conversation. If you find that there's some value in my coaching, EOS, and the tools and disciplines, then what we generally do is I'll ask you to set up what's called a 90-minute overview of the EOS system, the tools and disciplines. It'll be an interactive conversation about how it could help. You'll have the freedom to ask questions, and we'll explore the possibilities. Within that session, I would say it's most beneficial to include your leadership team. So it might be 3 to 7 of your key decision makers. These are people that you want to elevate and delegate to help you move your organization to a higher level of performance than it might be today.
Right. So it's sort of like that high diving board experience. The first time you look at the tall one, you go, no, nobody smart jumps off that.
Yeah.
Then you realize this could be a really important thing to do. It could be fun, certainly test your courage. I think this is a little bit like that. I started my business, I ran it, and now I have to ask for help and or enlightenment. How do I get the courage to do that?
Well, Steve, I from my perspective, I don't think it takes courage. If you know that 100,000 businesses are operating or using some tool or technique and getting tremendous results, and you have an opportunity to get a free conversation or a free hour and a half overview of what it is they're doing that's helping them get tremendous results, and it's free, it's an exploratory. At a minimum, you're just learning. You have better insight and understanding of what this system is that's helping 100,000 businesses. Above and beyond that, you can see how it might help you, it might help your leadership team, it might help your organization, and it's free. All it is a little bit of time. And for me, the success of these 100,000 businesses sells the system. I'm just there informing and looking and helping you understand how it could be applied within your environment to help you overcome the hurdles or capitalize on opportunities.
Makes sense. So in a way, it's just being smart versus courageous.
Being smart, just being open-minded. Like if you knew of someone that was investing in a stock portfolio and it was earning 140% year over year interest, and you could look at the results and you could call them and verify that they were getting those kind of results, wouldn't you want to spend some time understanding what the investment option is, what the risk profile, what the return benefit is, like how it could be relevant to you and your financial portfolio?
Yeah. It's so, in a way, what you're saying, it's just another business decision to explore this and see if it matches.
Absolutely. But I would say on top of that, it is a business decision that most of my clients, if not all, if you ask them what were 1, 2, or 3 of the most critical, pivotal decisions that they made to get them to the successful point that they're at, they would say EOS, implementing EOS, the business system, tools and disciplines, sits in the top 3, if not the top 2.
Nice.
All their business decisions ever made.
So if I say yes, and what I'm trying to do is understand what the water in the swimming pool sort of feels like, what are some of the things I will experience as a company installing this and becoming better at people, vision, meaning?
Yeah, I think if I just fast forward more towards the end in mind and back to the point that we said, human energy, where you're likely at today, and most businesses are, is that human energy is misaligned on vision, misaligned on priorities, misaligned on core values, misaligned on their individual roles, responsibilities, misaligned on what needs to get done in the next month. So outcome is, imagine taking all of that human energy and aligning it in the same direction, everyone having clarity, the vision, priorities, their role, their plans, and marching along steadily. What that helps you, what you would feel like, You're going to feel like you're in more control of your business. I had one CEO that told me the other day he's never been he's never felt such freedom from the operational details of the business, but he's also never felt more in control of his business. So what you're going to feel is absolute control. You're going to feel like your profit's picking up because you've got people aligned and working on the right stuff in the right fashion with the same level of efficiency. You're going to find that your people misalignment issues or people issues in general within your organization are going to dampen out, and people are going to start to feel better, more positive, more productive, more committed, accountable. And it's just going to feel like everything's starting to hit, like, like you just had an engine tune up. And all your pistons are firing off, and you've got a fine performing engine, and you're going to feel like you're getting lift, like off the runway. You're starting to scale, profitability, efficiency. You're going to have more freedom, personal freedom, because it's going to take less work. You're going to be spending less time in the urgent matters of your business, more time on the important matters of working on your business.
Yeah.
It's kind of a brief summary.
So, timing, how many years does it take to get to the promised land? What's the frequency of meeting, the other involvement? Just kind of how does the playing field look?
Promised land is always up to the leadership team to define what that promised land is like. And every organization is different, and they're on different accelerated trajectories. But I would say generally, within 6 months, you're beginning to feel that lift that I was talking about. You're beginning to feel people coming together with more positive energy and alignment. About a year mark, you're going to start to see tremendous results on top and bottom line. By the time you get a year and a half, 2 years in, this is going to be like muscle memory. The common language, common system, common language, common tools and disciplines, the common way people show up to work and work together as a harmonious team. About a year and a half, 2 years into it, you're going to feel like as an organization, you've deployed this whole business system, tools and disciplines, and you are getting the absolute best results you could possibly get. So about a year and a half in, you're going to start feeling really wonderful. As an owner, depending upon your choice, whether you still want to be in the business, you're also going to begin to have the opportunity to spend more time away from your business and your other passions, because your leadership team you've assembled is going to be very much more self-managed. And you're going to have a lot of the dashboard and collateral planning material and status coming in on a weekly basis to really have an absolute pulse on the business. I don't know, Steve, does that sound like some environment that you would want to be in? You have an absolute pulse on the business. It's skyrocketing towards your vision like never before. And you've got the freedom, if you so choose, to chase your other passions and live an extraordinary life outside your extraordinary business.
Well, I mean, given the way you asked that question, I'd have to be pretty stupid not to do that.
Absolutely. Is it relevant to businesses? Absolutely. It's relevant 100% to businesses from, one person, two persons to like 500 or 1,000. Absolutely relevant. The biggest factor is the leader, the owner, is the leadership team looking for a better way to align their human energy and get better results? That's the key. Are they open-minded?
As you've said before, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Yeah.
And hopefully through this conversation, more will at least begin to explore and see if this is something that might fit them. So if I were interested in this, what do I do? What's my next step?
Well, a couple is there's a book out there called Traction that describes the EOS business system, tools and disciplines, how to apply it, the frustrations that will help you overcome, and ultimately the results you will get. So you can read the book. I think it's an audio version. You can listen to the book, or you could give me a call, or you can send me an email and we can have a conversation and I can accelerate that. The 90-minute overview that I talked about providing free of charge can be done virtually, can be done in person. I highly recommend it's with the owner, the leader, and the leadership team, the team that you're looking to elevate within your organization to help you achieve your vision. And that 90-minute overview that I talked about is basically the book consolidated in a 90-minute conversation of sharing and dialogue and interaction. And clearly the 90-minute would actually be ideal, because that way we can talk about your challenges, your opportunities, and we can talk about the context of how EOS, the system, tools, and disciplines, and the process for application can actually help you the most.
Yeah.
But the book's just going to be a more static description.
Yeah. So one of the pieces that obviously plays into this is, who is my coach? And I've gotten to know you, and I mean, you are a tremendously impressive person, but also a really good human being. And so you would be looking for someone that you're going to put a lot of trust in. So I guess this question, and I know this puts you slightly on the spot, why you?
Why me? Well, I've been a lifelong entrepreneur, I would say. First, I started my entrepreneurial career building motorized carts and most tricycles in my family garage, because I was the youngest of 7. We didn't have much money. So I had to build my own motorized vehicles. That led to flipping cars, rebuilding engines to put my way through college. Out of college, I ran a couple software startups, successfully built them and exited, each about 15 million. That gave me a lot of freedom and experience. I tried my chops at executive level positions, Fortune 500, 100 companies, where I specialized in business system transformations. So totally grounded in it. I've seen it work at scale, helping businesses grow from 400 million to $1 billion in 4 years as part of the executive team. Why? Because they had a business system, structure, process. They had their human energy aligned around achieving a common vision. So I have that experience, a lot of investment in me and business operations transformation. But, after the corporate stint, I just found my passion was in entrepreneurial businesses. Taking all this acquired experience I'd had in my own startups, my own executive level experience at running Fortune 500 companies, 100 companies, bringing that all to bear to help entrepreneurial leaders and leadership teams get the same kind of results that I knew was possible. I experienced myself. And so why me? It's because I've had small, medium, large business experience. You could say I've seen it all. Learn from successes and maybe more so failures along the way. I bring all that experience, plus the EOS business system that is now in 100,000 businesses as kind of a roadmap for success. It's hardened, it's proven, it's tried, tested, it really works. It also reflects all the best practices I've experienced over my career. So for me, it's my career experience, a small, medium, large. It's EOS. It's my drive to get results and work with leadership teams to help them get their human energy aligned.
Impressive. Plus, you're kind of fun to talk to. So that makes it easier.
Thanks, Steve. So are you. Really
so if I want to contact you, maybe the phone number, email, you're on LinkedIn, I know. What's the best way?
I'd say phone 503-939-3884, 503-939-3884. That's one way. The other way would be my email address, which would be tom.wesner, WESNER, at EOS Worldwide, all one word, .com.
Perfect.
Or you can find me on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah. Well, I know you are a busy man, and so I really, really appreciate your time today. And if anyone wants to connect with Tom, he is available, and I think you will enjoy learning from him. I mean, you've opened up some really interesting doors for us.
I'd say, Steve, thank you very much. I appreciate your passion for helping first, which matches my kind of philosophy. Help first and the world gives back. All you and I are here for is to open up and help people with the knowledge, experience that we've had. No obligation. I know you operate that way as well. And the way we find is if we hit a resonant note, we engage and we take it to the next step. Else we just build connections and great relationships with people and help best we can, whether that's business or just kind words and help and support, whatever it takes. I just really am passionate about helping people just like you are. And that's why I think I appreciate you so much. And thank you for the opportunity to be here.
My pleasure. I loved what you said. All we ask is people pass that same energy on and help others.
Absolutely.
Well, take care. Have a great rest of today. And I look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you. Thank
All
you,
right.
Steve. Looking forward to it as well. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome.